All right, one of the things about building a better world is, or new technologies, is 3D printing. So one of my favorite stories about 3D printing is my dad is the probably biggest bear that you will ever meet in your life. And I love my dad, but for the last 20 years, every time I've seen him or spent time with him, he always says pretty much the same opening line, which is, I just don't know if we have another 6 months. I think civilization is going to totally collapse in 6 months. And unlike, Zero Hedge and a lot of these guys that say this, he has his own property. He produces all of his own food. He produces his own water and his own energy. In fact, he has a hand pump for water. He's that paranoid. So, I mean, he practices what he preaches, but it's just funny because he thinks the world is going to collapse. Well, what does that have to do with 3D printing? Well, when I showed him 3D printing, he was just mind blown. That's the only time I've ever seen him be a bull, because he was like, that is going to completely change the world. Like, that opens up all kinds of opportunities. He's an engineer, so I mean, he's like, this is huge. This is a huge win for humanity, the fact that we're able to do this and then figure out how to optimize it and make it even better and what other things. So I say that because even my dad, who's the ultimate bear, is saying, this is cool, this is very cool, and it's going to democratize production, right? And it has the potential to really lower the cost of living and increase the standard of living. There's so many different exciting things about it. So let's suppose you see a water generator. You want to go in business, let's say, and you see a water generator currently for sale, and it desalts the ocean, etc. I'm calling it a water generator. Maybe it's a water desalination. Who knows? Whatever it is that you want. It costs $10,000. But what you do is you break it down by each part, right? And you're like, okay, how much does this part cost in this part? And what you figure out is that the most expensive part costs $2,000, right? You're like, well, with 3D printing, I can create that same part for $100. And now I can charge customers $8,100, right? So you go into business competing against this company, and you're now charging $8,100. Parts same quality, everything. The difference is it's $1,900 cheaper. Then you continue to do this for the next 3 expensive pieces, and the price of the generator eventually falls to $700. I'm sorry, $7,000. Most business owners have told me if they could charge just $50 for something like a water generator and make a $10 profit, they would totally do it, because you'd get more customers, right? You could have a volume business. Think about that. Now think about what that does and impacts to the poor, right? It's like one of the ways we can defeat poverty is by democratizing production to where not only can the poor, if they want to get out of poverty, build competing products, right? But the other way is that they can afford more and more. Think about this in terms of like medicine and dentistry, right? Medicine costs a lot of money. How can we apply 3D printing to medicine? By the way, as a case in point, I met an individual at the gym who had a prosthetic limb, and some of his prosthetic limb was made by 3D printing. It was very affordable, whereas the doctor was sharing with him some of the cost of what it would have been, let's say 10 years ago. It was enormous. Again, the cost is declining in some areas, right? So the most successful ideas of 3D printing are not these stupid, like, here's a Lego thing. That's dumb. But successful ideas will be applied to the most significant problems. Water, energy, transportation, etc. These things that are problems, applying 3D printing to these problems and see what you can do, right? What about agricultural costs? How can we save farmers money? I love farmers, right? They're producing all our food, so we want to always save them money. We always want to find ways to save them money because they're producing our food. We need to respect our farmers, love our farmers, and make sure to always reduce their cost. So can we knock off 90 to 95% of their cost with equipment, right? Always think of those ideas and then break it down by each part, right? Which part could you optimize for, create, and then sell that part at an even cheaper cost? And like I said, the potential applications in medicine and dentistry are just going to be out of this world. So this has the potential to really democratize production and just break free. And like I said, my dad is the ultimate bear. So if he saw that, normally with technology like Tesla Motors is a case in point, yeah, but the problem is blah, 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 blah. He couldn't come up with one problem to this. He was like, this is amazing. And again, he practices what he preaches. If you doubt that he's a bear, do you have a land that produces its own food and water and energy? And are you that paranoid and have underground bunkers and stuff? Most of you don't, right? So the thing is that this is something that's very exciting and will definitely change a lot of things. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, something that I'm looking into, some of the things that I want to build, using a 3D printer to build it and then sell competing products, reduce costs for consumers, can defeat poverty this way very easily.